People told me I couldn't do a lot of things.
I feel like I'm the chosen one.
Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. All we are is proud and passionate. I love Toronto. I love this team. And we're going to the NBA.
Nothing matters but winning.
You're going to the NBA Finals for the first time in your career.
Canada, the NBA title is yours. The Toronto Raptors are the 2019 NBA champions.
Welcome to episode 16 of Rapzville Weekly. I'm your co-host, Gabriel Chelio, along with my other co-host,
Adam Casucci.
And today we're going to continue on our origin stories, and today we're going to be talking about Norman Powell. Before we start, just in case, I wanted to say if my voice sounds a little off, I lost my voice a couple days ago, so if I sound a little groggy, that's why. Anyways, let's just jump right into it. Norman Powell was born in San Diego, California, and was introduced to basketball by his uncle, Raymond Edwards, when he was very young. He attended Lincoln High School and helped rebuild their basketball program after they lost many athletes. He led his team to consecutive California Interscholastic Federation San Diego Section 2A championships in 2009 and 2010. They also won the 2010 California Interscholastic Federation Division II Boys State Championship, with Powell scoring 24 points in a 74-59 win over Mountain View St. Francis. He ended up finishing his junior season averaging 19.7 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 2.7 steals, and earned first-team All-State as well as Western League Most Valuable Player. In his senior year, he was once again first-team All-State and League MVP, with averages 20.4 points per game, 3.8 rebounds per game, and 2.4 steals per game. Lincoln was a 32-2 team and won the league title with a 12-0 record, making them ranked number 3 in California and number 15 nationally, but were defeated 74-69 by Summit in the state semifinals. Powell finished his high school career winning the San Diego County All-Star Game dunk contest. And going into college, he was considered a 4-star recruit by ESPN. Powell was listed as the number 15 shooting guard and the number 52 player in the nation in 2011. Powell eventually chose to play college basketball for UCLA over San Diego State, Arizona, and Oregon. In his freshman year at UCLA in the 2011-2012 season, Powell was the only real freshman to average significant minutes, and in that time, his play style had dramatically changed. Half of the shots that he took in that season were beyond the arc, which is quite interesting because he was more known for being a driving guard. That's what he excelled at, especially going into college. He was more used to taking shots close to the basket, layups, dunks, and he only a fourth of his shots, even less than a fourth of his shots, were actually from that range, and most of them were beyond the arc. So that's how his game started to change there. In his last couple of games, I believe 18, he averaged about 38% from three. And in 2012 to 2013, his averages went up from 4.6 points per game in 17.8 minutes the first season to 6.1 points per game in 22.1 minutes. He began the season as a starter and later moved to the bench. This is his second year UCLA, and obviously, nothing huge numbers-wise, but he's slowly growing his game. And after that season, he considered moving to San Diego State, but stayed because Coach Ben Howland of UCLA was fired. Powell acknowledged Howland for his development on defense, but also said that there were a lot of things going on that weren't fair for me, and I definitely wanted to see a change. In the 2013-2014 season, that's his third year at UCLA, Powell started all 37 games and was third on the team in scoring with 11.4 points per game. Under the new coach at UCLA, Steve Alford, he became an offensive threat and a strong defender. He became more aggressive taking the ball to the basket and dunked a lot more than he could in Howland's system where he was more of a shooter. Powell was the best team's on-ball defender and was usually tasked with guarding the opponent's best defensive player, and earned an honorable mention for the Pac-12 Conference All-Defensive Team, which is pretty nice starting to see his defensive game improve as we start to know him on our team as a pretty good defender, pretty reliable defender, and he usually likes to size up against the harder matchups, and he does a good job against them. After this season, he considered playing professionally in the NBA after his third season and requested an evaluation of his prospects for the upcoming 2014 NBA draft. He was informed that he was unlikely to be drafted, so Powell decided to return for his senior year, fourth season, and became UCLA's top returning player and scorer for the 2014-2015 season after underclassmen Jordan Adams, Kyle Anderson, and Zach LaVine each declared for the NBA draft, while seniors Travis and David Ware graduated.
Okay, we'll continue. During the offseason, Powell worked to improve his jump shot. And as the season progressed, he grew to be a leader of the team, increasingly taking one more of the offensive load. Although freshman teammate Kevin Looney was seen as a potential NBA lottery pick, Powell became the Bruins' most consistent performer. On March 1st, 2015, Powell scored a career-high 28 points in a 72-67 win over Washington State. He averaged 26 points and 5.5 rebounds in 2 games that week, and was honored with his conference-high third Pac-12 Player of the Week for the season. The Bruins went 2-0, helping them secure an eventual number 4 seed and first-round bye in the 2015 Pac-12 tournament, and maintaining their hopes of receiving a bid to the NCAA tournament at season's end. Powell was voted first team All-Pac-12 and again received honorable mention for the All-Defensive team. He was also named first team All-District by the United States Basketball Writers Association and second team All-District by the National Association of Basketball Coaches. He finished as the team leader in scoring with 16.4 points per game, the 6th highest in the conference. On June 25th, 2015, Powell was selected with the 46th pick in the 2015 NBA draft by the Milwaukee Bucks. As we have covered previously, he was subsequently traded to the Toronto Raptors along with a 2017 first-round pick for Gravis Vasquez. After signing with Toronto on July 15th, he played with the Raptors in the 2015 NBA Summer League in Las Vegas, where he was the only rookie to be named to the All-NBA Summer League first team. Powell received playing time early in 2015 and 2016 due to injuries to Terrence Ross and DeMarre Carroll, but mostly spent his time assigned to the Raptors 905. He played well with the 905. He adjusted perfectly with their team, and he was a highlight there for sure. With Carroll out after the knee surgery and James Johnson sidelined with a sprained ankle, Powell made his first NBA start on February 2nd, 2016, going scoreless with 2 steals in 15 minutes in a 104-97 win over the Phoenix Suns. He started a couple of other games, but only managed to put together 18 points as his highest game average. But near the end of the season, on April 8th, All-Stars DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry were resting. So Powell was able to set a new season high with 27 points in a 111-98 win over the Indiana Pacers. Then, in the Raptors' regular season finale, Powell topped that mark again with 30 points in a 103-96 win over the Brooklyn Nets. After averaging an Eastern Conference leading 15.3 points per game, in April, he was named the conference's NBA Rookie of the Month also. Powell played sparingly for the Raptors over the first half of the 2016-17 season. He would rise to the occasion almost every time he got an opportunity. As Carroll sat out early on in the season, from December 20th, 2016, Powell scored a season-high 21 off the bench in a 116-104 win over the Brooklyn Nets, and then had 3 more 21-point games over the next 3 months. On April 24th, 2017, in Game 5 of the Raptors' first-round playoff series against the Milwaukee Bucks, Powell scored a playoff career-high 25 points to help the Raptors take a 3-2 series lead with a 118-93 win, which is when I really started to respect and appreciate this young, talented kid. On October 8th, 2017, Powell signed a 4-year, $42 million contract extension with the Raptors. The deal, which started with the 2018-2019 season, included a player option on the 4th year. So this is really when Masai really trusted in Powell and wanted him in for sure in about maybe the top 7 players in the rotation, really banking on him. On November 5th, 2018, against the Utah Jazz, Powell partially dislocated his left shoulder joint, which was really scary, and was ruled out indefinitely. He returned to action on December 19 against the Indiana Pacers after missing 21 games. That season, he scored a season high of 23 points in 2 games, one against the Pacers and one against the Heat. That season, he helped us win the 2019 NBA championship over the Golden State Warriors, obviously in 6 games. Powell began the season scoring in double digits only once in the first 7 games, as Fred VanVleet became the new shooting guard starter once Danny Green obviously left in the offseason. On November 29th, 2019, he scored his career-high 33 points in a 90-83 win over the Orlando Magic. As a starter in December in place of an injured VanVleet, he scored 20 or more points in 3 straight contests for the first time in his career. Later in the month, Powell injured his shoulder against the Detroit Pistons and was out for 3 weeks before returning in mid-January, which was horrible to see as he was playing well. I feel Powell has had a lot of setbacks with his injuries, especially the one this season. But now we're starting to really see his full potential and what he could really do.
Yep.
However, on January 31st, 2020, he fractured the 4th metacarpal of his left hand against the Pistons, like I was talking about. And he returned at the end of February after missing 9 games with a huge turnaround on the way. Powell scored a career-high 37 points in a 121-113 win over the Golden State Warriors on March 5th after averaging a conference-leading 31.3 points on 56% shooting and helping the Raptors win 3 road games that week. He was named the NBA's Eastern Conference Player of the Week for the first time in his career. Yeah, this really shows when Powell gets hot, he can't be stopped. He's such an interior force, and he's really a scoring machine, and he's an offensive juggernaut for sure.
Yeah, so Norman Powell, he's been absolutely fantastic. Like you said, he's constantly being set back with injuries, and I thought that injury was definitely going to be something that caused frustration because he was playing really well before that. He had some good nights. He had his career high, and then, of course, he got set back with another injury, and I was missing him because he was playing really well this season. I've enjoyed watching him so far, and I thought he's been doing great, improving his game, showing that he's a solid 6-man for this team. And then he got injured again, and I thought, great, there's another setback for him. But obviously he proved me and a lot of people wrong because he came back stronger than ever, had an absolutely huge week. Those are big numbers, 31 points per game, 56% shooting. Even if it was just 3 games, those are huge numbers, definitely deserving that NBA Eastern Conference Player of the Week. And, it's exciting to see some big sparking play like that. Obviously, like you said, he is a juggernaut offensively. He can be really hot. When he gets hot, he's on, and he plays like similar to Westbrook's style. Maybe it's that UCLA grind. I don't know what it is, but he's got that explosive athleticism, those hard dunks. He can shoot the ball when he's hot, and he can make plays. He can drive. He can be crafty. He can do it all when he gets hot, and it's great seeing him play at his best, especially this season. I thought he's been getting better and better. So if we continue to see that from him, especially in the playoffs, it's going to be really interesting to see where this team can go.
No, for sure. Very interesting player to watch, obviously, Norman Powell.
Yeah.
The NBA hiatus meant that Powell's hot streak had to suddenly come to an end in his 5th season. Powell was averaging 16.4 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 1.3 steals, all career highs, while shooting 39.8% from three-point range and 50.2% from the field overall. He also is arguably been one of Toronto's most improved players this season, which I can totally agree. Him and OG for sure are the 2 big step-ups, and obviously Fred. But we kind of saw like for sure like spurts of their brilliance last season. But with OG and Powell, we didn't really see too much of them. Obviously, with OG being out in the playoffs and Powell having a couple good series, but wasn't really consistent. Going into the bubble, Norm went on to say, "We're just trying to get prepared and stay ready for what the NBA comes with to try to salvage the rest of the season." Via a conference call from his home in Las Vegas. He also said, "I don't think people know exactly what that looks like or will be. I don't think the guys are frustrated. I'm not frustrated. This is a serious virus and pandemic going on in the world. We're taking all the precautions that are necessary to stay healthy and be prepared for whatever comes next." That's for sure. That was he was really talking about the virus, and he really understood that I think the team will get back on track once they get a couple games and game reps under their belt.
Yeah. Obviously, we've been playing, some mediocre basketball, which is expected as the guys haven't been playing for months. So, that's expected. But specifically, if you talk about Norman Powell here, if we talk about maybe his Portland game first, he did not shoot well at all. He shot 2 for 9 from the field, 6 points. Yeah. He didn't make any 3 balls. Only 1 turnover, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. He had about 22 minutes of play, a lot more. I believe that was the game where that's Freddie got injured, or not injured, but they sat him out. So he obviously, with that time, he didn't shoot the ball extremely well. In his most recent game, he did against the Phoenix Suns. We lost, but he did shoot 6 for 11 from the field. So he did increase his numbers a little bit, which is obviously promising. And I'm going to look back at the very first game against the Houston Rockets here. Norman Powell shot 5 for 12 in 18 minutes for play, but from 3 he shot 1 for 7. So 12 points. So what are we thinking here? The first 2 games, I guess we can give all the players maybe some give or take for being a little out of it first couple of games back. Sure, yeah. But obviously the numbers aren't looking that well, especially the 3 ball, 1 for 7, obviously in his first game back. We're seeing a little more promise as we got to the Suns game. I was watching that one. He got a little more aggressive, taking it to the rack and stuff. So I guess it depends. I'm hoping that we get the old Norman Powell back just before the season restart after injury when he was getting on that 30-point hot streak. What do you see from him coming up? Do you see him bouncing it back a little bit? Do you see a little rusty period? Do you think that he just plays mediocre this NBA restart? What are your predictions?
From Norman in the past, we've seen that he's been obviously a streaky guy, playing well in spurts. But I think now, as he's maturing in his basketball career, I feel that he will for sure put together some strong, consistent performances. And the number I think really is 15 plus points per game. I feel if he can do that for the team, as being a 6th man for the team, I feel like he's done his job. And
he is right now.
He's for sure, yeah, and he's the leader of the second unit. He's also talked about helping guys like Terrence Davis, Chris Boucher work on their games, and yeah, if he can help those younger guys play to their own full potential, I think the Raptors will be great, because we did see a bit of in the scrimmage games, we did see a bit of a drop off when the starters came off and the bench came in. We weren't obviously playing as well. Not a lot of good offensive plays were being ran, and or weren't being executed, matter of fact. And yeah, I think that's what I think about for Powell.
Okay. As a player overall, I think he's shown great improvement. Right now we have him on a contract for about $10 million. It increases about a couple $100,000 every year. I think for $10 million, I would say that he is worth the money that he's given. As a solid 6th man for our team, I think he's continuously shown that he can improve his game, and we can talk about the stats a little bit. Right now he's 26 years old, and throughout the years, as he's been given more minutes, he steadily increased his game. His first season, he only averaged 5.6 points with us, 2.3 rebounds, 1 assist. Next season, he got to 8.4 points. Everything else stayed the same. Then he went down 5.5 points. And then as minutes came up a little bit, as we get more recent, he went up to 8.6 points again. And then this season, he went from 8.6 points per game to 16.4 points per game. And his minutes also went up from 18.8 to 28.8. So, as he's been given more of this opportunity, I guess as Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green have left, 2 of those bigger name players who had starting roles as our wing players. As they left, I guess more minutes for Norman Powell meant more ability for him to grow. And, he did a good job of carrying his weight. His numbers went up. His points per game went up. His rebounds went up. His assists have gone up. As a player in general, I think he's done a lot better. His 3 ball is pretty solid. It's pretty consistent. And as well, his field goal has went up, at least for the 2-point spot. And field goal in general has gone up. So, as time has gone on, he's steadily improved his game. And I think that he's a valuable piece to us. Do you see this steady improvement continuing? Do you think that he can ever touch the starting lineup? Or do you think that's a spot reserved maybe for Freddie and Lowry as long as their tenure lasts here?
I say once, I wouldn't want to go too far, but once Lowry, I think, gets into his really older years, I think Freddie will be moved to point guard and Norm will be moved up to shooting guard. And I think that's my prediction there. And I feel that if Norm could stay on this pace, and I think he could really be a 20-plus scorer in this league. He has all the offensive skill set, and he works hard on defense, can guard to the 1 to the 3, even guys bigger than him because he's a very strong center of gravity guy. And I'm sure he can do wonders this season.
Yeah, I really enjoy seeing his defensive skill set. I like seeing him try matching up against tougher opponents, especially ones that people would think possibly are a mismatch, whether it be Stephen Curry or Kawhi Leonard or Paul George. I like seeing him putting in hard defensive efforts on defense and showing that he has that ability to use, his quickness and his length to do his job. On offensive end, like we said, I think he's grown tremendously so far. He's continued to improve his game. And I think as it comes with time, if he keeps up his play as he did so far, it's going to be great seeing him, shooting the ball well from 3, getting to the rack. And I think he provides a lot of that spark off the bench. He is, in essence, the true 6-man. Because when that bench unit comes on, he prides himself on being the leader of that bench unit because he's most of the time drawing up the plays. And if we're in trouble, we need him to be the ISO player or someone to draw up that last second of the shot clock, last 3 seconds of the shot clock. We need a shot to go up. You look towards him to get a good look for the team. And if he makes it, that position on the team becomes very valuable. And I think so far he's done a good job of being that piece. And also we talked a little bit about, I believe it was last episode, the bench giving the starters a run for their money. And I know that Powell specifically was very happy of that. And he prides himself on being a leader on the of the bench. So Adam, do you have any thoughts or anything to say about that, about his role as a leader for the younger bench players?
Obviously coming up through the 905 and a lot of the same kind of story with these younger guys coming up, I think it helps. I've said this already in previous podcasts, but that kind of going through the same type of story and kind of developing in the same type of way, going through the same steps is really valuable. And having someone in their shoes who's already done it will obviously help them in the long run. And I feel like it's already paying off with guys like Brissett, Terrence Davis. They're really learning from him. And I think that's what Powell brings to the table. I mean, he's very mature for his age. And
just to update before, I said 26, but I double check right now. He's actually 27 years old currently. And seeing him 1 year older than Van Vliet and Siakam. So we have a lot of our core guys, at least moving forward, once Larry and them are gone, are approximately the same age. And it's good to see that they all kind of have that similar story of they all made a come up. They didn't have the highest draft picks, started their way with the 905 and matured, like you said, got better, and they have grown as players. They put in the effort to get to where they are, to be a respected starter or 6th man in this league for all these guys. I think that's we always say, that's the common theme of our team is individual growth and working hard and becoming a solid player and a respectable player in the league just off of putting in that work and improving your own game individually. So I think, like you said, that path that's been kind of brought out between almost a lot of the players in our team, it helps a lot of the younger guys that we continue to bring in and shape, like Terrence Davis, an undrafted rookie, showing them that all these players can play phenomenally and they can play with the best. They can play with the Kawhis. They can play with the Paul Georges. They can match up with LeBron. Van Vliet's not scared to headbutt KD and talk some trash. Yeah. We're willing to size up with the best of the best. And even if you are an undrafted player, you can have respect in this league if you work hard and do what you have to do. So it's good that Powell can lead that bench, especially at being a 27-year-old. He's almost one of the oldest guys in the team because of that. He is the 4th oldest. So being kind of a mentor for some of the younger players and letting them know that there's a path. If you work hard enough, you can get to where he is. I think it's a really good role model for them moving forward.
For sure. And I wanted to ask you, Gabe, this is just solely about the team. The ESPN has put Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics, as well as the Bucks, ahead of us to win this year's championship. How do you feel about that? That's like we keep on getting I think the short end of the stick here.
Okay, I didn't watch some of these teams' games, the Celtics, the 76ers, and I've been making scores for them, but I haven't been checking the play style of these teams. And obviously they are great teams, don't get me wrong. The Bucks obviously are a huge threat. They always have been. Boston, a young core, and the 76ers as well, a strong, well-versed team. But at the same time, like we said, we've always been given the short end of the stick. And that's something that our players know, they hear, and they constantly talk about. I just saw a quote the other day. I believe Van Vliet was talking about, like, before the season started, he was mentioning that, like, they kind of just laughed about it when they heard that no one took their playoff success seriously. And they continue not to. I see it everywhere. I see analysts say it. I see it on social media that even though we won a championship, even though we made playoff year after year, we're still not given the full respect that we deserve. And I believe, you know what, I think it might have even been Jack Armstrong or Matt on the most recent game versus the Suns. They might have been saying it while they were commentating, that this is not just like the Atlanta Hawks team from a couple years ago where they had good regular season success, but they never got over the hump of the playoff success. We have been playoff contenders year after year. We've made Eastern Conference Finals, and we've made the finals and then won the championship. And, it's a hard fight no matter what you do. You can't rule it out to injury because our team did play hard and we were well-versed and, we gave them run for their money no matter what. So I think in the end, we've always been given the short end of the stick. And if the players can use that as fuel to improve their game and prove, haters or doubters wrong, I think that's great for them. But thinking about who's going to win, I think that our team always puts in a good fight. We are a well-versed, well-rounded, hardworking team. 76ers, like we said, we always say the same things about them. If Ben Simmons can be consistent with a three ball and not just show like some videos on Instagram of him shooting around at practice, and the other players can all do their part, then, we can have a serious conversation here because like they have a lot of good pieces. It just matters on, performance. Who performs well? It's simple as that. If our team gets back on track during these scrimmages and these regular season warm-up games and, they don't, it's simple as that. It's all about this restart of the season is all about adjusting and who can figure out how to perform the best.
Last question. Before we go, I wanted to ask you: do you think Masai will put Powell in a package trade deal, or look to get something out of him, or do you think he is a guy that he wants to keep into his veteran years?
You know what? This is a tough one because I think he's a really valuable piece to us as a sixth man. We don't really have any player like him. If we get rid of him, we're going to lose that spot, that driving force off the bench when we need like an experienced player, someone that can get us a last, end of the shot clock shot, something that's a valuable shot. He's usually the go-to guy. So unless the trade package is either an amazing starting piece or someone that definitely will help improve this team where we don't have to be too reliant on the bench anymore, or it's a replacement for another great bench piece, then it's a possibility that he could be moved because obviously his play has been great. His value, his stock value in terms of trading has definitely went up. But I also think that he provides something really valuable to this team, so I can't really see him being let go. I feel like our team is really, we really like to hold on to our guys. That I think that we're kind of possessive. In fact, the Masai moves as of like the recent years, like with the Kawhi trade and stuff, those were really unexpected because our team is naturally known to be, very loyal and holding on to guys that we like. So I personally don't see any moves being done unless it's a serious move to like if Masai is looking for another title and thinks that this move is a key piece. It's always possible. He has some good value, but personally I think that his value here is kind of unique and hard to be matched. So I think that he'll be staying for the time being.
Yeah, I agree. I think Masai will only pull the trigger if he really sees like a hidden gem or someone that can turn out. Obviously, I think better than Powell, but to me, I feel Powell is the perfect piece for us, and he's staying for a while.
Yeah, his game is definitely improving, so I think that it's a good move right now is just to keep him and watch him grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that wraps it up. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Whether you're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is, please show us some love. Everyone stay safe. And we hope you all enjoyed. That's us signing out. Peace.